we're looking at 2021, Greg, and Nebraska, according to Rivals, with 20 commits, 3 4-stars, 17 3-stars, 19th rated class in the country. Any thoughts about what could happen between now and that first Wednesday in February?
You know, it's been pretty quiet. I think, you know, they've been focusing most of their attention on the transfer portal right now, and seeing where they land with, you know, grabbing some of those positions in need, which they already have gained a couple of pretty good players that we can talk about here shortly. But there are, I mean, there's 2 names really to keep your eye on for Nebraska on that February 3rd signing day. And one is one that we've talked about quite a bit, Avante Dickerson, the Rivals 250 corner out of Omaha West Side, state champion here this year in the state of Nebraska. And then there's another player from Hawaii, a 4-star athlete, Titus. Let me see if I can say this right. Titus Moke Adamalala. I'm sure I butchered that.
Well, hopefully they sign him and you can practice, and we'll all have to practice that one.
Exactly. Yeah, once you do it a few times, then you get it down. Yeah, those are two of the biggest names to watch here. And you know, what's been difficult, which everybody's had to deal with, is that you just can't get guys on campus for them to see things. And that's where we've talked about Avante Dickerson quite a bit already, you know, being a Minnesota commit, but not being able to go visit campus since he's been committed. And, you know, been in Nebraska several times. So he's familiar with Nebraska way more than anybody else. So, you know, keep your eye on that one. And then, you know, with their success already, you know, with the state of Hawaii, you know, you never know, because those Hawaii kids are all in the same boat right now. They haven't been able to see anywhere else either. So it's all about relationships, Mark. I think you know that in recruiting, just like you mentioned about guys getting in the transfer portal and going back closer to home, somewhere where they've been recruited at. You know, you can look at numbers like with Nebraska. This was including Wandale now, since the transfer portal started, Nebraska's had 31 guys go into that transfer portal, and including Wandale, that makes 5 or 6 now that have landed in Power 5 programs. So, you know, that percentage there is, you know, 13, 14%. So, you know, you're seeing a lot of these transfer portal guys being kind of your guys that aren't being used quite as much, and you know, looking elsewhere. And like I said, it's about those relationships. I think, you know, 3 of those guys that I just mentioned that have gone into that transfer portal all landed at Oregon State, because Coach Trent Bray, that was here under Mike Riley, went back to Oregon State, and he had those kind of relationships with these guys when they got into the transfer portal. So, you know, relationships talk. They talk in recruiting.
I got to say, Greg, when you mentioned a couple transfers coming in through the portal, I went and jumped online to see who you were talking about. Markese Stepp is a guy that I watched play quite a bit of football at USC, so he never gained the #1 job, but he got a lot of carries there, and he's an excellent talent coming in as a 4-star.
Oh yeah, he's a former Rivals 250 back, you know, and had played a lot of football at USC. And, you know, he saw an opportunity here with Dedrick Mills opting to head to the NFL, which also, throwing that out there, probably another factor in that Wandale Robinson decision there, too, when he made that, thinking that, oh, boy, Dedrick's going to the NFL, so I don't want to carry the ball a bunch of times again for another year. But, yeah, Stepp, you know, a lot of things in common with the Dedrick Mills right there. You know, he's a bigger guy, you know, 6 foot, 230, 35-pound guy that he moves the pile. I think he was always pushing that pile forward for the Trojans. And, you know, USC is always famous for having a lot of talent in that backfield anyway. And, you know, so he'd always have to share a lot of snaps with some other talented guys. But I think, you know, he's got a great opportunity to come right in here and take that starting job at Nebraska. You know, because right now that running back room is completely unproven. You bring in, you recruited another high-profile running back out of the state of Georgia coming in this year, but he joins the fray of a bunch of guys that we just haven't seen carry the ball much here at Nebraska. And to be fair, a lot of them have been banged up, and Savion Morrison, we never got a chance to see. He dealt with injuries, and then he got COVID. So there's been a lot of ups and downs with that running back room, and I think you bring in a guy like Markese Stepp, and that just kind of gives you somebody that you can rely on that's played a lot of Power 5 football, and should really be a Big Ten type guy, a successful Big Ten type back.
Carried 100 times at USC, so he was used.
Yeah,
1 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns. So he's proven to be successful again as a backup, but utilized quite a bit there at USC the last 2 years. And we've got another one coming in.
Yeah, Somori Toure is an All-American wide receiver from Montana. He's a surefire NFL draft invitee. This guy, and I don't care what level you're playing at. He's one of the top 250 players in college football, and this guy caught 13, 14 touchdowns last year. Or as a junior, and 1,400 yards, 1,500 yards. So I mean, this guy, he's another bigger body guy. He's a 6'3" guy as well, and we'll see what he can do in a Power 5 program. But he's already proven that at the FCS level. So he's another guy that you look at right away that's going to step right in and add some extra firepower there on the outside. So you lose some guys here at the transfer portal, and you gain some guys. It's been a roller coaster here in Lincoln. I mean, every day it's somebody's leaving, or somebody's going to stay, or somebody's transferring. So, yeah, it's been crazy. And besides the Wandale Robinson thing, I think Nebraska has come out pretty good. So, they gained 2 guys right away that I think are going to help out big time next season.